Welcome to our comprehensive guide on how to fix nib creep, a common issue that fountain pen users often face. If you're not familiar with nib creep, it's when ink slowly travels up the nib of your fountain pen, causing unsightly stains and smudges. But don't worry, we've got you covered. In this guide, we'll be sharing some simple techniques to fix nib creep and get your pen writing smoothly again. Understanding the causes of nib creep. One of the main reasons for nib creep is the quality of ink that you're using. Some inks tend to be more prone to nib creep than others. This is because of the pigment particles in the ink. The larger the particles, the more likely they are to clog the feed and cause ink to seep out of the nib. It's important to use high-quality ink that is specifically designed for fountain pens, as it contains the right viscosity and properties to flow smoothly through the pen. Another factor that can affect the occurrence of nib creep is the humidity and temperature conditions. If the air is too dry, ink can dry out and cause clogs. Conversely, if the air is too humid, ink can become too fluid and seep out of the nib. It's important to store your pen in a controlled environment with stable temperature and humidity levels to minimize the occurrence of nib creep. Lastly, the nib's alignment with the feed can also play a significant role in preventing nib creep. If the nib is not aligned correctly with the feed, ink may not flow smoothly and may cause clogs and leaks. This can happen if the tines are too close together or too far apart, or if the nib is misaligned with the feed. Are you a fountain pen user who has encountered the annoying problem of nib creep? If so, you're not alone. Nib creep occurs when ink slowly travels up the nib of your fountain pen, causing unsightly stains and smudges. But don't worry, we've got you covered. In this article, we'll be sharing some simple techniques to fix nib creep and get your pen writing smoothly again. Understanding the causes of nib creep. To fix nib creep, it's important to first understand the causes. One of the main reasons is the quality of ink that you're using. Some inks tend to be more prone to nib creep than others. Additionally, humidity and temperature conditions can also affect the ink flow. Lastly, the nib's alignment with the feed plays a significant role in preventing nib creep. Simple techniques to fix nib creep. Technique 1. Clean the nib and feed with a cotton swab. The easiest method to fix nib creep is to clean the nib and feed with a cotton swab. Gently wipe the nib and the feed with the swab, being careful not to apply too much pressure. This should help remove any excess ink that may have accumulated on the nib. Technique 2. Adjust the nib's alignment with the feed. If cleaning the nib and feed doesn't work, you can try adjusting the nib's alignment with the feed. This will ensure that ink flows smoothly without any clogs or leaks. To do this, use a loupe or magnifying glass to examine the nib and feed's alignment. If the tines are not aligned correctly, you can gently adjust them using your fingers. Technique 3. Use a different ink. If you find that nib creep is a persistent problem, you may want to consider using a different ink. Some inks are more prone to nib creep than others. Experiment with different inks to find one that works best with your pen. How to maintain your pen to prevent nib creep. Prevention is the key to avoiding nib creep. To maintain your pen and prevent this issue from occurring again, follow these tips. Store your pen in a cool, dry place to prevent ink from evaporating or drying out. Clean your pen regularly to prevent ink buildup and clogs. Use high-quality ink that is compatible with your pen. Avoid exposing your pen to extreme temperatures or humidity. Conclusion. And there you have it, some simple techniques to fix nib creep in fountain pens. Remember to use high-quality ink and maintain your pen regularly to prevent this issue from occurring again. If you have any questions or tips of your own, please feel free to share them in the comments below. Happy writing!